Hey guys, my name is Yasmina and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I thought it might be fun to show you how I organize my writing projects on my computer. I will also make a video on how I organized my writing projects on physical, paper, notebooks, anything like that. I'll make a separate video about, so if I've already uploaded, then I will link to it down in the description or up in the cards. Without further ado, let's get into my computer, my Google Docs to be exact, and let me show you how I attempt to organize my many writing projects. So first of all, this is my writing folder inside my Google Docs. Always keep your things in the cloud or back them up, many hard drives all over the place, because you don't want to one day wake up with everything, all your hard work just completely gone. I have a lot of projects, I have a lot of writing projects. I have a lot of books and series that I'm in various stages of development for. So some are finished, some are just ideas, some are just like one chapter, some are 30,000 words, some are 100,000 words, just not gotten past a first draft. So I have everything in here. I have an Excel sheet of agents that I was planning on submitting to, and I think most of these I have submitted to a few years ago when I was still interested in traditional publishing and I queried agents. This is useful documents that I found online. Some are like plot worksheets, some more self-editing worksheets, just all kinds of stuff that, like a 7-point story structure, a beat sheet method, just some stuff that I thought might be helpful. And then I have just a folder for each of my writing projects. So let's get into just a couple. I'll show you a couple. I'll show you my main writing project, my main book that I've been working on for years, because that one is the most sort of developed and advanced and there's a lot of stuff in it. And then I'll show you another one. So for example, I have this book called The Sound of Crooked Hearts. In here, I have some images. Sometimes I like to visualize how, the characters in my books look like, how some of the settings, maybe just any kind of inspiration I think is really useful. I would also do this on Pinterest, so I would make a Pinterest board with inspiration, but I used to just save images in my computer, and so a lot of these I still have like this. And then I have my drafts of the actual book. So I have my Scrivener file in here. So that's the actual draft of the book. And then I have, I think, just the documents. I also just have a Word document version of it because I had printed it out at some point. And a backup, of course, always have backups. And then I have a cover design folder because I played around and I made a cover for this. I'm not going to show you that though because I might use that at some point, I'm not sure. In this is a fantasy series that I started a long time ago, so this is not the most organized, but again I have my Scrivener folder and I have some reference inspiration images, so you can see it's pretty similar. Then let's get into my main folder, the main book that I'm writing. This folder is called Eurodaniel because that was the very first thing I ever named the document, the Word document that I started writing this book in. It's not an actual title, but I just kept it like that because I don't know. We have a lot in here. Like, this is my main book. This is Hunting Vienna. For those of you who are wondering, you'll see it at some point in here. But there is a bunch of stuff in here. I've been working on this book for a long time. In this folder, I have my query letter drafts. So, like I said, I had submitted this book to a bunch of agents. Like, I went in the query trenches and I did a bunch of stuff with this book. Man, writing queries is hard. I might actually make a video about that because that was just an entire separate process to writing the actual book. That was painful. So I have all of them in here. And then I also have submission material. So when you submit to agents, aside from the query letter, they might need a synopsis, for example, a bio. So I have those in here. I also have a pitches document for short pitches that you might write on a Twitter pitch contest or something like that. So I just have everything stored in here because even though I'm not planning on traditionally publishing this book anymore, you never know when you're going to need this stuff. Always keep everything. And then I have submission versions. So when you submit to an agent, then they might only require the first chapter or something like that. So I have that lovely split in here. I think this was one of the first or the earlier drafts that I used to send to my critique partners because I used to send it in chapters, not the whole thing at once. So I have that in a folder. Then I have a folder for my first ever beta reading, but this was years ago when I only had critique partners as my beta readers. and so I kept everything related to that in here. I have a separate cover folder for this because I have many different versions of the cover for this book. Again, I'm not gonna show you them, but as you can see here, there's a bunch of different concept ideas for this book that I went through. I have a vellum folder for the formatting versions of this book, and then, so at some point I decided to create this into a series and not just one book, and that's where I created this folder. And so far I only have 2 projects in this. I have the sort of prequel novella and then the main book. Here it is, Hunting Vienna. So here we have more stuff. So of course we have a backups folder. We have a beta readers folder in all caps, very important. So this is something I did early this year. I sent my newest version of this book to beta readers, and so I have some vlogs related to that if you're interested, but I'm also going to make a series on what are beta readers and how to work with beta readers. But basically I sent them my book in chapters, about 5 or 6 chapters at a time. As you can see here, I split it into 7 sections, and for each section I had the PDF of the actual chapters, and then I have a questionnaire. Now again, I have a vlog where I talk about this questionnaire, and I'm gonna make a separate video showing you the questionnaire and even giving you the questionnaire if you're interested. These are all my beta readers, and then in each beta reader folder I have the feedback for that specific section. That was a whole process. I am in the final stages now of revising my book based on these beta reader comments, and so yeah, it was a whole process. So that's actually the next folder right here. This is the current version of the book that I'm working on. So this is the beta revision version of my book. So this is the document that I am currently working in. And then I have a bunch of versions of this book, like a bunch of drafts. These aren't all the drafts. Actually, there's another folder in here called drafts where I have a lot of versions of this book. So the first ever version is this one. This is what I mean. I called it Eurodaniel because I don't know. And if we look, can you see when it was created? Yes, it was created on 16th of September 2014. Quick correction, because after recording that I realized that doesn't sound right. That can't be when I started it, because that's when I finished it. And as you can see here, date finished 16th of September 2014. So that's when I finished the first draft. I don't know why I can't find an earlier version of this, but I'm pretty sure I started this book in 2011. But for whatever reason, I can't find that. But this is when I definitely finished it. It's been 10 years. It has been 10 years. Oh my god. What else do I have here? Just have other random documents and of course the Scrivener file and a separate document for a plot element of my book, which is the scavenger hunt and how all of that works. So I kind of planned all of that separately. Then I have some stuff about the prequel here. I have the prequel outlined in a beat sheet method, but this is in the very sort of early stages, draft 0 kind of thing. What about Scholomans? What do I have here? I also have some cover design ideas for my fantasy series. This is a different fantasy series. And again, document some random screenshots. What are these? Now, I guess this is when I finished the draft, so I made a screenshot, and when I got to 10k, so I made a screenshot because achievement. Yes, and again the vellum files. So I have some old stuff in here as well, like really old cringy writing. Actually, see, this is what I mean by I'm not so organized, because this should not be in here. Let me just quickly just move that in there. Yeah, what else do we have in here that I might actually need to move somewhere else? Yeah, so these are a lot of really old, really cringy stories or beginnings of books. I might go through this at some point. Let me know if that sounds like something fun, because oh my gosh, there's a lot of fan fiction in here. A lot of this is fan fiction of various things. Also, this should also be inside of this folder. I'm so organized, you guys. So organized. And then I have some short stories. These are really old. Like these I wrote in high school, like beginning of my high school. These are super old, so I might go through them on camera and read some of them to you at some point. That might be fun. Maybe. It will be really cringe, but that's what I mean. It might actually be funny. It will be embarrassing for me, but it might be fun for you. So yeah, that was how I organize my writing documents inside of Google Docs digitally. I hope this was helpful somewhat, or at least a bit interesting to snoop through my files and see how I have some stuff organized. Again, it's not perfect and I'm still working on it because I have multiple writing projects, as you saw, that I'm juggling all at once, and so sometimes it just gets really messy, but that's how it is. I try my best. I will also have the other how I organize my writing projects on paper and folders and notebooks video coming up soon or before this video, I'm not entirely sure, but check that out as well. I will link it down in the description and in a pinned comment or at the end of this video. And my computer is starting to overheat now, so I think that's a good sign that I should end this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Check out some of my other writing videos in a playlist at the end of this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.